Hey, how are you? Well, I want to talk about the weather. Yeah, it's so nice right now. It's October 2025. Weather is amazing. And, if you're thinking about moving to Sarasota, you've probably seen a lot of chatter online about hurricanes, humidity, and Florida weather disasters. So, as a Southern California native, who's lived through some of Southern California's most destructive earthquakes and rainstorms and fires, I can tell you um, I have a unique perspective after 19 years living over here in Sarasota, Florida. So let me just tell you a little bit about what's going on, and uh, let's see if we can dive into it, okay? So, before you make a decision to move out here, you really need to think about the weather, and probably should come out um, in a couple different times of the year. That is a really good idea. Or possibly rent out here before you make the move. Sarasota is one of the top relocation spots in the country right now, and especially for people leaving California. We see a lot of California plates out here. Um, and while we have incredible beaches, year-round outdoor living, and plenty of sunshine, the weather here is very different from what you might be used to. It was for me. When I moved from Southern California to here, it took me a long time to get used to the weather because I'd never experienced humidity. I didn't know what dew point was, and we had just a little rain, and we had some little tropical weather. At least I thought it was tropical weather around the fall when some of the storms were coming up from Mexico and from the south. So yeah, it's a different animal altogether out here. So let me tell you what I know. Sarasota has tropical climate, and that you obvious. We're in the subtropics, and although it's sunny Florida, it's also warm weather all year round. And what that basically means is, I'll give you the breakdown. Winter is the most beautiful time, one of the most beautiful times. From December to March, you've got our daytime highs are about 70 degrees, and it's perfect for golf, for pickleball, for beach walks. And this is when everyone from up north moves down, comes down here for the winter. We call them snowbirds, right? And then spring, oh, spring is amazing. We've got March through May is beautiful weather. It starts warming up. I'd say it's close to California weather. It starts warming up into the highs with some lower humidity, so you don't feel it as much. Summer, it's oppressive. I mean, June is pretty nice. June and July, it's hot. June through September, though, it's hot. It's humid. The dew point is really high. And you can think, now, in terms of heat, it usually gets into the mid-90s daily in the afternoons, which for Southern California, that's maybe going inland, you know that 100, 110 is no big deal through the summer. 90 degrees here with the humidity and the high dew point is something else. So we have, the nice thing is every afternoon with those thunderstorms, or every afternoon I should say, we have thunderstorms, and with the thunderstorms, it drops the heat and the humidity down in a way. It just cools it down, and the evenings become really nice and very comfortable. So fall, right now it's fall while I'm filming this. It's October. October and November, things start to cool down again. And by late October, the humidity drops, feeling fantastic again. In fact, it just feels amazing outside. That's why I'm sitting out on my lanai next to the waterfall. It's just wonderful here. So, all right, things to consider, remember, is that we get two seasons, basically. We have a dry season and in the winter, and then a wet and rainy seasons through the summer. Yeah. So some people love it. My wife's from Germany. She loves the humidity. She loves the dew point, and she loves being out in this. So it just depends on how your body reacts to it. Some people perspire more in the higher dew point, and others it's not so bad. So for my wife, she just thinks it's paradise. It's like German paradise, I always call it. For myself, I think it's a little oppressive in the summer, but I can deal with it now. It took me a little bit to figure out what clothes to wear and how long and where to stay indoors. But So, the news. The news, let's talk about the news and hurricanes. The news loves to hype the storms up, by the way. And yes, they are serious. But here's the truth. You'll usually have days of warning before a hurricane, and that gives you time to prepare or even leave town. And then Sarasota actually has a slightly better position geographically compared to some parts of Florida, and that's thanks to the way the coastline curves. So in the 19 years I've been here, I've experienced a handful of direct impacts, while last year was probably the worst I've ever seen, with a tropical storm and then 2 hurricanes back to back. Most years are not like that. In fact, I'm filming, today's the 3rd of October, and on the 8th of October last year, we had a hurricane that just, it didn't destroy my house. I didn't get flooded. None of those things happened to me. Our islands and keys got flooded out, and that was very unusual because they had a high tide with the storm surge, and the circumstances all came into play together. For me, I just had a lot of debris to clean up. This backyard was full of bamboo, tree branches, and there was stuff everywhere, so I had a lot to clean up. But most years are not like that. I mean, the 19 years I've been here, we've just experienced 3 hurricanes that were a problem, and for my wife and I, it was mostly cleanup. We did have power outages. That was the hardest part. Post-hurricane, I'd say the hardest part of a hurricane for most people is if there's a power outage and you've got to sit in the heat, kind of kicks up, especially if it's September, and it just becomes really unbearable. You can always move to a hotel, but if you've got pets and so on, you just got to be prepared to live the old Florida style. Old Florida is really no AC and having all the windows open, living on your lanai with a screened-in lanai, and roughing it. So, yeah. Okay. But preparation, that's the key. Just like hurricanes, just like earthquakes. You're always preparing for your earthquake. You set up your house in a certain way. You expect that there's going to be hurricanes. Earthquakes in California. Well, the same thing in Florida with hurricanes. So the best part is, though, when there's a hurricane coming. You've got several days to prepare, and it's not as terrifying as an earthquake that just suddenly hits you. I'd say when you're prepared, you've got time to prepare for your hurricane. Not a problem. It's not great. It's not a great experience, but I've ridden out hurricanes, and most Floridians end up having a hurricane party afterwards, sometimes during. Not the best advice to drink while you're having a hurricane, because something bad could happen. Take it from experience. What I do know is it's way easier than a hurricane. Okay? All right. So last year versus typical years. So let's see. Last year was unusual. This exact time a year ago, we had basically it was Hurricane Central. We had a major tropical storm, 2 hurricanes in one season, which created a lot of panic. And back-to-back hurricanes, really, it isn't the normal. So you do read that in the headlines. Okay, let's talk about the rainy season. Now, I'm from Los Angeles area, and we'll get some rain here or there. Sometimes we get the flooding, and after a firestorm, after the hillsides burn off, and then suddenly you've got some rain and you've got mudslides. So that's a short, brief period in Los Angeles. The rainy season here is typically an afternoon thunderstorm. And so here's how it typically goes. If you've never lived through a tropical climate, this is going to be news for you. So during the summer rainy season, you can almost set your watch to the afternoon thunderstorm. And the mornings are usually sunny and beautiful. It's great. Then by mid-afternoon, the clouds build, and we'll get a quick but intense thunderstorm. They roll through. 30 minutes later, the sun comes back out, and you're ready for a sunset walk on the beach. So, sounds good, right? Most of the time, locals will plan activities in the morning, and then late afternoon, they'll They'll get back out after the rainstorms, midday to late afternoon here in Sarasota. Usually indoors, maybe lunch or early dinner or something like that while there's storming. But in the evening, it's just so nice. So in the evening, things really cool down in the summer. So it can be really a fun experience to have that tropical weather. Okay, so that's that. Here's some myths and misconceptions about the weather. So clear up some myths. Myth number one, Sarasota is always under hurricane threat. Not true. Don't believe the hype, right? Most years, Sarasota has no direct hits. Most important thing is preparation and the perspective are key. No need to panic. I had someone that moved down here, it was a customer of ours, and she went into full-on panic when there was a hurricane approaching. Got in her car, got in traffic with her pets, and she drove halfway up the state and then realized the traffic was so bad she was running out of gas, and she lived in a home that we had helped her buy that was hurricane impact proof. She had no reason to fear where she was at. She was just in a flat out panic. And she ended up calling us, I need to come back. I've got to get back. Is that okay? Is there any shame in that? There's no shame in turning around and getting back to your home. There wasn't a big deal. The hurricane passed over, and a lot of times, if you're just prepared, you can ride up the hurricane in your own home, or you go to a shelter that's nearby. So not a big deal. I recommend don't panic and have a positive perspective about the hurricane. Okay. The rain. It rains all the time in the summer. It should rain every day. On the coast in Sarasota, near downtown Sarasota, it doesn't rain as much for some reason. Definitely out in the Lakewood Ranch area, it will pour almost every afternoon. You can set your clock to it. So all summer long. But you can time it out. So makes everything lush and beautiful, like my yard right now. So, okay. Let's see. You can't handle the humidity. All right. This one is tricky because the truth is it takes a few months to adjust, and you'll end up loving the outdoor lifestyle, especially when you compare it to some of the other dry heat you could have, like living in the desert. Desert heat is beautiful. Love it myself. But adjusting this kind of the way how to describe it here. So when you get used to living here in Florida, your skin is always feeling nice and moist, and if you go to Las Vegas, perhaps, you feel the difference. Your skin gets dried out. You'll notice how itchy you might get. Don't have that problem here. Your skin always feels good, looks clean and nice and clear. So yeah, I'd say that's the one thing. It took me a while to get used to the dew point. High dew point days are not my friend, and I do perspire more than other people. I hate to say it. So I have to just be cautious when I go out. I have to plan my days. But I have air conditioning, so I don't really worry about it. I'm usually in the air-conditioned truck, air-conditioned car, air-conditioned house. We go to air-conditioned places, air-conditioned restaurants. So everybody has the AC. It's not a big deal. Okay. And it's better than cold winters, by the way. And yeah, I'll take this weather over cold winters anytime. All right. People love Sarasota weather. Why? So here's the upside. You might have a few stormy weeks, and then yeah, most days are warm and sunny, and it's perfect for outdoor living. So can't beat that. Love it outdoors. And the spring, oh my gosh. Winter, it's wonderful. Rarely gets cold. Maybe a little bit in January or February, but it doesn't last, and that's usually overnight. Yeah, let's see. So people relocate here mainly for the weather, and they want to retire here. They relocate here to enjoy life. And when you compare it to earthquakes or massive tornadoes, we have some small tornadoes here occasionally. Wildfires, they do have wildfires here, but they're usually pretty well contained out east, and then there are no snowstorms. We do not have snowstorms. There's like a chance in hell having a snowstorm. So for me, the choice was pretty easy to stay here. Sarasota wins, hands down. I'm not moving back to California anytime soon, probably not at all, and definitely going to stay here and enjoy the weather. So yeah. All right. So if you're considering moving to Sarasota and want the inside scoop on what's really going on living here, including neighborhoods, lifestyles, and yes, more weather tips, you can contact me. You can message me, or you can go into the link that I've left below in the description. You can send me a message and we can connect. I'd love for you to just subscribe and give me some comments, some positive feedback. I'm just here to help people try to find people that are like myself that want to move out to Sarasota, Florida and the surrounding areas, Sarasota, Manatee, Venice, Lakewood Ranch. So I serve them all, and I help so many people. My team and I, my wife Anya, and our agent Daria Schmiel on our team, we have helped so many people find this great lifestyle. The secret's out, man. Everybody knows about Sarasota, so the time to get in is now. I definitely recommend. Give us a call and we can talk to you about your move. We've done it. We've moved across country, across the world. We know what it's like, and we definitely can help you. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.